Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. Time to talk about 30 days to be the best. Like I said in the first devlog, I was unsure if I was gonna ever post another one, but what the hell, by now I think I have enough stuff to say to write down and post at least one more, so why not? I'll start off by reminding everyone that the game now has its own Steam page, so you're kindly invited to wishlist it, link in the description. I postponed its release date by 2 days, now it will come out on October 3rd. For a change, I'm also gonna sell the game on itch, GameJolt and maybe IndieDB, instead of using those as places just to shill my Steam page like I've always done. I'll see if I can get it published on GOG as well. I'm not getting my hopes up or anything, but it costs nothing to give it a shot. I want to write another comic book story to serve as a prequel for the events that will happen in the game's story, like I did with Mariuccia Alchemy Queen and Wrestling is Real. I promise you I'm gonna put in a bit more effort this time than I did for those 2 games, it's not gonna look like a 3rd grader drew them. Speaking of 3rd grade level drawings, those who follow my Insta will have by now seen all the sprites I intended to use on the game before I had a change of heart. Said change of heart doesn't come only from the fact that I want 30 days to have a darker tone. I think it would be straight up disrespectful to use them in a commercial product, something that is supposed to be sold for real money to the general public. I'm sure you'll agree. I don't hate them personally, I liked them enough to post them on my Insta, but I'm trying really hard to make the game look palatable, and the first step to take was replacing those drawings with something that I personally deem to be much better. These new sprites, that I have made using Blender, will be posted on Insta starting tomorrow, but I'll limit myself to the spoiler-free material, for obvious reasons. I consider myself better at 3D modeling than I am at drawing, so I hope you'll enjoy what I have in store. I'd love to create some merch for 30 days to be the best, shit like t-shirts, mugs and so forth, maybe a physical version of the comic book if it turns out to be good enough, that'd be dope. Can't say I have anything concrete planned yet, but I'm currently flirting with the idea. Whatever I'm gonna create is gonna be sold through Teesprings instead of Redbubble, which is where I published all of my merch so far. Teesprings seems like a much better place from what I've seen. In the previous devlog I've talked about maybe downloading some old abandonware music software to compose the music, and after doing some research I've found Hydrogen. Yes, it isn't abandonware technically, but as long as I don't have to pay for it I don't care. I haven't done anything with it yet, due to a combination of being busy and not wanting to be reminded firsthand how truly bad I am at music production, but it's there. Can't postpone working on the soundtrack forever, can I? Now, how are things going for the real, actual development of 30 days to be the best? You know, the part of making a game that involves making sure that all the things that need to happen actually happen and happen the way they're supposed to happen. I'll admit, things have recently started slowing down a bit, and the main reason is, to put it simply, that for most aspects of the game I moved on from the phase where I have to create stuff, which is pretty straightforward, to the phase where I have to fix what doesn't work in said stuff, which requires a lot more effort from my small brain and a lot more time as a result. But let's list what I have accomplished in these couple of months before I get all negative. So far the hub of the game is 90% complete, aesthetically it's only missing a few sprites and some of the flavor text, while on a practical level the one thing that is stopping it from being fully functional is that I have yet to script all the fights associated with the hub elements. Everything that has to do with the RPG parts of the game works perfectly fine, you can level up and distribute your skill points, and each class will have its own set of strengths and limitations, with some skills taking more points than others to improve and some that cannot be improved at all. The problem here isn't with the coding itself, but with how balanced the gameplay is, and the only way to strike a fair balance of challenge and fun is to let a bunch of people play the game and tell me what they think. So yeah, if you want to be a tester, please hit me up. I'd appreciate it. The character editor is done, too. But while it functions as intended, I want to add some more body parts before I can feel confident in showing it off. What's really giving me the most issues out of the entire game is anything that happens inside the arena, which is weird because a good half of it is copy-pasted straight from Skull Fracture, and it worked mostly fine before I put my hands on the scripts again. I don't know, it's weird. Nothing I can't fix, but it's a pain in the ass. Maybe it's just something that has to do with the Unity Inspector and scene transitioning, I don't know, it wouldn't be the first time. I'll look into it. Loading times are still giving me head hatches. They were a big problem in Skull Fracture and they're an inconvenience in 30 days to be the best. I thought I solved this issue, but apparently I was wrong. I read that interacting with components from one object to the other through script is resource intensive for Unity, so I'll try to find a workaround. All of this is, admittedly, annoying, but it's no reason to panic. I still have many months to try and figure out what's wrong. Plus, in the meantime, I've also worked on some changes that don't make things worse. I have set up a proper ranking system that rewards a player according to how well he does in a fight. I have added more stipulations. I have diversified the behavior of the AI depending on how far in the game's story you are, created new animations and fixed a bunch of minor details that were half-assed in Skull Fracture. All good stuff, not all of it is fully refined, but it doesn't cause a mess either, and that's enough for now. Now, ignoring all the setbacks caused by bugs of unknown nature, the quirks that still need fixing and balancement concerns, the development of 30 days to be the best is progressing quicker than I anticipated by a vast margin. I'm very proud of how fast I'm going and, for how unrealistic of a goal it is, I hope to be done by the end of March. I have many projects I'm working on this year, like finishing Mariuchia's death, drawing another comic book unrelated to this game and other stuff that I can't mention until I'm ready to show it off, and while my top priority for 2022 is this game, I don't want to take too much time away from those other things. And that's it, that's all the updates I have for today. But before I wrap this up for good, I feel like going on a quick tangent, so bear with me. Basically, to promote my previous devlog I've been joining a lot of Facebook groups and subreddits. Not that I think it'll make a huge difference, but having one more platform where people see my work can't hurt, right? And looking at some of the great stuff that gets posted in those places made me realize how truly behind the curve I am when it comes to my skills as a game designer and an artist. I've seen a lot of crazy good shit in there, some that I might even go my way out to buy myself, when it gets released. I was so impressed by how some of these usually unknown indie developers, people just like me, although usually a lot more competent, could produce such good content without the backing of big companies or a huge team, and this experience helped me put things in perspective. I understand that some of these projects have multiple people working on them, and that their development cycle is usually much longer than mine, but to someone who plays a game these factors are irrelevant. To tell you the truth, I want 30 days to be the best, to become a success, a huge success. I want this to be a game that people will talk about for years to come, and if I want to achieve that, then I have to step the fuck up, because the competition is fierce, and to stand out as a game designer you have to stand out and put in work. And this is what I count on doing from now on. Not that I haven't been trying hard before, there's always space for improvement, and this new state of mind I'm on made realize that I'm not even close to touching my ceiling. Alright, now I'm done for real. Thank you for listening to this devlog. I'll be seeing you next time with a showcase of the character editor, a direct comparison between Skull Fracture and 30 days, and finally a proper trailer. Again, don't forget to wishlist 30 days to be the best on Steam, link in the description. Bye.